one thing after another. Not good enough on overgone.
George Russell's Belgian Grand Prix lasted one lap, and his patience with Mercedes has lasted about as long. He made a great start, he nailed turn 1, he came out of La Source tucked right behind Max Verstappen in second place, exactly where a championship contender needs to be at the start of a Belgian Grand Prix. For one brief moment, everything was working. Then the battery stopped charging. Not partially, or a minor deficit, but zero. George Russell reached the top of Eau Rouge, one of Formula One's most iconic and most demanding corner sequences, with 0% on his battery. No electrical deployment, no boost, no power. I was going slower than an F2 car. I got overtaken by 3 drivers in a Mercedes that is supposed to be the fastest car on the grid, the car that has won 6 of the 10 races this season. And that's before we get to what happened next, because what happened next ended his race entirely. Swamped by 3 cars on the Kemmel Straight with no power to defend himself, Russell found himself side by side with Lewis Hamilton approaching Les Combes. Hamilton's Ferrari understeered into the side of Russell's Mercedes. Contact. Russell spun into the gravel. Race over. On lap 1. The championship gap that had been 25 points going into Belgium is now 50 in one afternoon, without Russell completing a single racing lap, and he has a few things to say about it. If you want to stay updated on Russell's championship fight and Mercedes' reliability crisis, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. The summer break is one race away and everything is changing. Start with a battery failure, because that's where Russell's anger is actually directed, and it's important to understand why before we get to the crash. Russell made a clean getaway at La Source, the tight first corner hairpin that opens the Belgian Grand Prix. He got into Verstappen's slipstream. He was perfectly positioned, and then, for reasons his team cannot yet fully explain, the battery failed to recharge as he exited turn 1. I made a good start. I made a great first corner, and I was tucked up right behind Verstappen, but for whatever reason, the battery decided not to recharge at turn 1, Russell said. The battery didn't charge, and I exited the first corner 35% down. Because it didn't charge, I also had a boost problem. The turbo didn't sort itself out, so I had no power. I got to the top of Eau Rouge with 0% on the battery. 0% on the battery. At the top of Eau Rouge. The run from Eau Rouge up through Raidillon and onto the Kemmel Straight is one of the fastest, most committed sequences in motorsport. Drivers take it flat. Every tenth of a second of deployment matters. Cars need full electrical power to accelerate properly out of the valley and onto the kilometre-long straight that follows. Russell had nothing. Quite frankly, it was dangerous. I got swamped by 3 cars. I shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. That's why I'm the most angry. Dangerous. That's a significant word to use about your own car's failure at Eau Rouge. Russell isn't being dramatic for effect. He's describing a situation where, through no fault of his own, he was suddenly dramatically slower than every car around him at one of the most unforgiving sequences of corners on the calendar. 3 cars swept past him. He was a sitting target. The collision with Hamilton was almost an inevitable consequence. With no power, no deployment, and no ability to defend his position on the Kemmel Straight, Russell was racing in slow motion, while everyone else was flat out. Hamilton attacked into Les Combes. Russell tried to hold the outside. Hamilton's Ferrari understeered and made contact with the right side of Russell's Mercedes. The stewards investigated and found Hamilton wholly responsible. His front tyre lost grip mid-corner. The Ferrari understeered into Russell's car, despite Hamilton trying to apply corrective steering to avoid contact. Approaching turn 5 on the opening lap, Car 63 attempted an overtake around the outside of Car 44 and had established sufficient overlap to be entitled to racing room. During the corner, Car 44 experienced understeer and, despite attempting to avoid Car 63 by applying corrective steering, made contact with the right-hand side of Car 63 with its left front wheel. Hamilton received a 5-second time penalty, reduced from the standard 10-second sanction because the stewards accepted the collision resulted from understeer rather than an aggressive or deliberate move, and because the incident occurred on the opening lap where grip levels and compressed racing conditions are specifically recognised as mitigating factors. Russell, to his enormous credit, didn't pile onto Hamilton despite being the one who ended up in the gravel. Me and Lewis, honestly, I think it was a race incident. He didn't do it on purpose. He was more to blame than I was, but he didn't do anything reckless. That was one of those things I was most angry about, that I was in that position in the first place. In that position. Powerless, slower than an F2 car, vulnerable to exactly the kind of contact that ended his race. If the battery had charged normally, Russell would have been accelerating hard up the Kemmel Straight alongside Verstappen, not defending for survival against 3 faster cars while running on combustion power alone. If things were normal, I wouldn't have been battling with Lewis, I would have been battling with Kimi and Max ahead. Kimi and Max. That's where he should have been. That's where his championship position demanded he be. Instead, he was in the gravel watching Hamilton drive away with a 5-second penalty that felt academic by the time it was applied. Russell also confirmed the battery failure was a separate, unrelated problem from the straight-line speed deficit that had hampered him all weekend in qualifying. 2 distinct issues. Same car, same race weekend. One caused a disastrous qualifying position. The other ended his race before it began. Toto Wolff didn't hide from the scale of the failure. His post-race response was unusually direct, just no corporate framing, no deflection, just a clear acknowledgement that Mercedes let their driver down. "We had an issue with all Mercedes engines, that we lacked power down the straight," Wolff said. "That hit him badly. It 100% goes on us." All Mercedes engines. The problem wasn't isolated to Russell's car, it was a system-wide power unit issue affecting every Mercedes-powered car on the grid. Wolff accepted full responsibility without qualification. 100%. He also acknowledged the pattern that has defined Mercedes' 2026 season. Extraordinary pace undermined repeatedly by reliability failures at the worst possible moments. "We let Kimi down in Silverstone when George got a podium, which is maybe better than the result could have been, and then one DNF in Montreal, the other in Barcelona. It's a little bit the story of our season. It's a technical, mechanical sport. The story of our season." Coming from the team principal of the championship leading team, that phrase carries genuine weight. Mercedes is winning the Constructors' Championship. Antonelli is leading the Drivers' Championship. They have the fastest car. They have the fastest power unit. And they keep letting drivers down at critical moments through mechanical failures they cannot prevent. For Russell specifically, the cumulative damage is devastating. The gap that had stood at 68 points after Monaco, a gap that looked insurmountable, had been clawed back to 25 through a combination of his own results and Antonelli's misfortune. Austria, Silverstone, 3 consecutive top 2 finishes, real momentum. 1 lap at Spa erased most of it. The gap is now 50 points. Hamilton, who finished 4th, has leapfrogged Russell in the standings, now 45 points behind Antonelli compared to Russell's 50. Russell's response to yet another crushing setback told you everything about where his emotional state actually is. "I'm numb to the disappointment now. When it happens so often, you just get used to it." Numb. Not angry in the explosive sense, not devastated in the dramatic sense. Just numb. The emotional callus that forms when bad luck and mechanical failure repeat themselves often enough that the sharpness of each individual blow becomes familiar. It's one thing after another, after another, after another. Not good enough on all regards. Try and reset again, done it enough times this season, and see what we can do. Done it enough times. The reset he's describing isn't just for this race. It's the defining characteristic of his entire 2026 campaign. A driver repeatedly absorbing setbacks, rebuilding, closing gaps, and watching another failure undo the work. Wolff promised support. He has our 100% support. We are trying to solve all the issues. I'm going to try to put my arm around him, an arm around him. After a battery failure at Eau Rouge, after a collision caused by being powerless, after a gap that went from 25 to 50 in one afternoon. The summer break is 1 race away. Budapest is next, and George Russell heads there 50 points behind his teammate, numb to the disappointment, reset for the 100th time, praying the car holds together for just one more weekend.